One of your most well-known quotes is embrace pain to avoid suffering, like we mentioned earlier. I think that's such an incredible philosophy. Can you tell us about that in a bit more detail in terms of the practicality of that day to day?
First, we have to understand pain. And the narratives of the world are to reduce, eliminate, or avoid pain at all costs. What we also need to realize is that pain is an indicator, and it points us towards what's important, just like perspective, right? And it's directly tied to our nervous system, which is there to design and give ourselves the ability to anticipate threat, risk, and everything, right? 100 years ago, though, if you cut your leg, you could die. That's not the reality for most of us in developed countries anymore. So it's time to update our operating systems as well as our definitions of pain. Pain is defined as short-term, intermittent, a direct cause from something, and alleviated once the direct cause is removed. And what do we do as humans? We screw it up by putting adjectives in front of it like we do with everything else. So we have acute, which maintains the definition, and chronic pain, which inherently changes it. Why? Because it implies that it's not short-term and it persists after the direct cause is removed. So it's not pain, it's actually suffering. And so we don't want to admit that suffering exists, particularly when it's a direct result of our choices. But the unavoidable precursor to change is acceptance. So until we accept the current state of things, we cannot alter them. I'm a big believer that we all must choose our pains or our suffering will choose us. This concept applied is we can embrace the pain of hitting the gym for 30 minutes a day to avoid the suffering of aches and pains of a sedentary lifestyle. We can embrace the pains of a difficult conversation with a loved one or spouse to avoid the suffering of being trapped in a loveless marriage or frankly wanting out and not knowing how to get there. We can embrace the pain of the fit our kids are sure to throw by having them put down their mobile devices at the dinner table to avoid the suffering of years of lost meaningful connection and conversation that we'll never get back. For ourselves, we can embrace the pain of doing the dark work and actually unpacking the things that are consciously or unconsciously still blocking us from our potential to avoid the suffering of remaining stagnant and never being able to live the lives on our terms in the ways that we want. Right? As business owners, we can embrace the pain of firing our top salesperson who's contributing the most to top line growth to avoid the suffering of stagnation and losing all our other top talent because they were the greatest cancer in our culture. And so this is ultimately an understanding of we have to put ourselves into a different frame of mind and when we're operating through things.